I'm Jeremy Riden. You're watching another episode of Raising Rainbow, the channel that's 100% committed to encouraging, enlightening, and empowering the LGBTQ plus community. You know, for the last few weeks, we've been going over the rainbow flag behind me, that wonderful gay pride flag, and what it represents to millions of people throughout the world. It was invented in 1978 as a symbol for LGBTQ plus people to get behind, to say this is what we stand for, who we are, what we believe. And we've been going through the colors. Red for passion, orange for healing, yellow for new thought, green for prosperity, blue for peace. And I don't know if you can see that bottom color down there, but I'm actually wearing the color of the day. We're going to be talking about violet. Right here, purple. We're going to be talking about that color purple and what it stands for in the pride flag when it was first invented in 1978. What purple stands for today and how we can raise our consciousness, how we can live our best life by connecting to the color purple. So what is purple? Purple represented the spirit. Violet represents that third eye, that Kundalini awakening, that spiritual awakening, that soulful part of you. That part of you that resonates with a higher transcendent being inside of yourself, or that you connect to, that source. Purple represents spirit. We're human beings. We're human beings, but we have a spirit. We feel things not just on an intellectual level and an emotional level, but we can even feel things on a spiritual level. We call that spirituality intuition, our inner wisdom, that still small voice that speaks to us, our conscience, all these great metaphors and synonyms and words to describe the ethers, the thing that is beyond our human flesh, our human understanding, that soul of us that will live on for eternity. Why is it part of the flag? It's part of gay pride because gay pride realized that all children, all beings are children of God, children of spirit. And that gay people, lesbians, bisexuals, intersexual, no sexual, every person on this planet is a spiritual being having an earthly experience. Everyone in here has spirit, and your spirit should be celebrated. You should read things, listen to things, be around things that lift that spiritual part of who you are. So many people that want to deny spirit. What has happened for many LGBTQ people from decades in the past, they were ostracized from the church. They were excommunicated. They were made to seem evil. And even though we don't particularly are affiliated with any religion, world religion here in the Raising Rainbow, we believe in the interfaith as far as we believe in ourselves. We're inwardly believing in ourselves and believing in others and allowing everyone to shine in their own unique way. Many people were cut off from believing in their higher power, almost as if the mainline churches could rob people from their experience from God. But what is interesting is many LGBTQ people are more enlightened when it comes to spirituality and things of the spirit and things of the soul and things that come from a higher power because they were forced to connect to the spiritual side and not just be spoon-fed what old white men or old people, Jewish people from different cultures or Hindu people. I mean, I'm not trying to get into race, but I'm trying to say is that the old teachings that were passed on to us, that people just spoon-food. I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. Most people don't worship Jesus. They worship Paul. When they say you're a Christian, you're worshiping someone that said that he had a vision of God 70 years after Jesus was crucified. You know, if someone came today and said, hey, I had a vision from God and here are 6 books that are going to change the religion, we would say he's a heretic. Most people would say he's a heretic. But yet most people that are spoon-fed don't understand the history of their religion or the evolution of their religion. And this is not a channel to argue Christianity. Many gay Christians out there get their faith from the Christian tradition or the Jewish tradition or the Muslim traditions. It's not your traditions that make you connected. It's your faith. It is your faith that connects you. It's the violet. Violet is that spiritual nature. And I was going on this tangent, this soapbox of mine, is because so many people were taught that they didn't have access to spirit because of their sexuality. I'm here to tell you is that spirit loves your sexuality. Sexuality is part of your spirituality. And it's all interconnected. Nothing is evil. We want to say this is secular and this is spiritual. It's all spiritual. It's all connected by love and a higher power. And so we want to talk today about that violet color, connecting to your spirit. Maybe you don't consider yourself a spiritual person. Maybe you're like, I'm just green, I want prosperity. Or maybe you're red, I just want, passion, do what I want. But for the flag to fly high and for it to be proud and strong, it needs all the layers. And so in Raising Rainbow, we want to encourage you to embrace the purple part of your life. Embrace the spiritual nature. In fact, I'm going to talk a little bit about how spirit, this is my interpretation, Jeremy Riden, not quoting from any other source, but the source in me, the divinity in me, the anointing upon me and through me as me, that God that sees and knows and hears all and speaks all is through us all. That divinity I want to connect to, that divinity that is love and encouraging and embracing, that is the divinity I want to connect to. But my experience of how spirit speaks in symbolism. The language of spirit is the language of symbols. And so for many people to connect to the vibe, they ask me, is the universe talking? Is God talking? Are my angels or my guides talking? They're always talking. Spirit is always speaking. Faith is always available. But we got to be able to, with that third eye or eyes of faith, begin to recognize the symbols that are around us. Symbols everywhere. There are signs everywhere. Spirit speaks in symbolism. One of the ways Spirit speaks is coincidence. You begin to notice meaningful coincidence. You were talking about going somewhere, and then all of a sudden you see a magazine with the very place that you were talking about. Or then you run into somebody that just came from there. That's spirit telling you, yes, look into going there. That could happen with a job. It could happen with dating with someone. Coincidence is a great way to know that you're in alignment with the direction you should be going. Syncrasies is what they call. Syncrasies, these things that just, you weren't expecting it, but they all begin to line up. So definitely, Spirit speaks with some coincidence, symbolism. Spirit speaks through music. One of my quotes is, I know there's a God because I've heard music. Music is so moving, it's so spiritual, it's so romantic, and it's just so beautiful. Many times, Spirit will speak through you and motivate you through music. A song will come on the radio at the right time. You're thinking about, you've been missing somebody, and all of a sudden their song comes on just while you're thinking about them. That's your loved ones on the other side saying, I see that you're thinking about me. I'm here. I love you, because Spirit never dies. So Spirit speaks through symbolism, coincidence, syncrasies. Spirit speaks through a lot of people that like numbers, numerology, right? Certain numbers pop up and they mean certain things. I tell you, look at all the different numbers you're seeing repeated over and over again. Those numbers have specific meanings. Google it. They'll show you what those numbers mean. If you see a number over and over in the next few weeks, Google that number to see what is the message that Spirit, Violet, the third eye, the messengers are trying to send you. You're not alone. This purple is the whole flag was for everyone to know you're not alone. There is a community. There is a sport. And the purple parts to let you know that you're not only alone on earth, but there's a great cloud of witnesses, one sacred text says, of loved ones and angels and guides and all kinds of higher beings that are rooting you on to live your best life, rooting you on to connect to source. You say, I don't believe you can have your best life just living only in your head. I don't think you can believe in your best life living only in your heart. You got to get your soul recharged, your spirit recharged. There's things in life that are going to hurt you. And you're going to need to heal from that pain. Your greatest healing comes from that source, whatever you want to name it, whatever you want to call it. It's unnameable. Sometimes it's undescribable. But faith, we're talking about how Spirit speaks. Spirit speaks through faith, through hope. Look at people that reach their goals and reach their visions. They'll say, I never gave up believing. You'll even have people that don't believe in a higher power, but they believe in their goals and they believe in their dreams. And they said, because I kept on believing, I eventually got there. It's the language of faith. If Spirit speaks through symbolism, it is activated through your belief. Through your belief. Now, this may offend somebody, but you can't spell belief without the word lie right in the middle. So you're saying, oh, are all beliefs lies? Well, we could say all beliefs have some of the truth, but I'm saying it is all beliefs are created on what you tell yourself. So you could tell yourself a lie, or you could tell yourself something that's empowering. I'm telling you, it really doesn't even matter the belief that someone ascribes to as much as the believer. Does the belief make you powerful? Or did you make the belief powerful? It's you. You activate the belief. It becomes true because you're putting the faith into it. You're putting the energy into it. You're putting your mind and heart and spirit into it. And then it begins to manifest. You are God creating manifestations, creating goals and dreams. In the old Torah, it said, Job said, that which I fear greatly has happened to me. He was obsessing over his fear, and he manifested that belief. Don't manifest fear in your life. Don't manifest sickness. Don't manifest pain and hurt. That's not to say that you will never not be sick and never not have pain. This earthly journey is duality, good and bad, light and dark. There is a duality. But I don't need to focus on the dark and the sick and the bad. I need to manifest my faith on the positive, the good, and the strong. Years ago, I told someone, I'd rather die in the faith. There's in the scriptures of the Christian tradition, says these died in the faith, not having seen the promise, but died believing still. And I told someone, I don't want any disease, but if I had something, I would want to die believing that I was healed. Die believing that I was going to be okay. Why? Because the alternative of having a pessimistic, some call it realistic, but a pessimistic, gloomy doom view zaps your energy. A optimistic, a faithful, a positive outlook or an expectation lifts you. It literally lifts your spirit. We want you to be energized. Raising Rainbows about lifting people's spirits. And when their spirits are lifted, guess what? They begin to smile. They begin to sing. They begin to dance and do poetry and music. And there's joy and happiness. There's an energy that rises when our spirits are lifted up. I want to encourage you. Can you be purple for someone else? Can you be the violet in your family? Can you be the energizer of people's spirits? Can you be the one that speaks faith, hope, optimistic words over your friends, over your partners, over your children, over your community? We've been talking for the last few weeks that these are dark times that we're living in. 2022, dark times. How do you say that? We look, besides the war of innocent children and women being killed and raped over in Ukraine by the Russian greed of Putin. And then we look even here in America that the ignorance of far-right Republicans manipulating the masses to try to overturn Roe versus Wade might happen. We already see the Supreme Court leaning that way. But already anti-gay legislation of hate that has already passed. I've already talked about it. And we could be gloomy and sad and fearful. But I believe this is a time to anticipate great things still happening for our community. Why is that? Because I have noticed in this world of duality, the darker it gets, the greater the chance for enlightenment. Why? Because when it's dark outside, that's when the stars shine the brightest. When have we made great leaps in equality? When it got really bad. when it got really bad and people began to feel the evilness of so-called righteous judgment, when really it was prejudice and hate, it woke the nation up to finally end segregation and end a lot of these other slavery and different things. And we begin to make advancements in our country during these dark times. So even though we've had a lot of expansion, the dark is raising its ugly head. But I would encourage us, do not stop shining your light in the darkness. Be that voice of hope. Be that voice that says, hey, we can raise to our higher angels, as President Obama used to say, and not given to our devils. We don't even have to fear the devils that are rising up in our brothers and sisters in this world. We've got to remain in our light. Martin Luther King Jr. said, you can't win hate with hate. So I'm not saying as a community we become hateful towards the far right or hateful towards those that are in greed. Pray for them. If you're a praying person, pray for them. Some of you say, don't ever mention prayer. Don't ever mention God. I understand. That's fine. Then hope. You can hope. He's like, I don't even want to hope. I know the bad nature of people. Then you be that positive person in spite of it all. You be that encourager in spite of it all. Let your humanity says, I will help my fellow humans. Even an atheist human can say, I want to be a decent, encouraging person for this world and for my offspring and for my fellow man. So as we get ready to wrap this session, this episode up, remember, you are spirit. If you're wondering why you're maybe down and out, have you been doing your mantras, your prayers, your worship? You know, there were many years I couldn't pray because of what the church had done and what I had seen in religion, and walked away from my faith until God could expand my faith. Some of you may have no faith right now because of what you've been through. That's okay. It's okay if you have no faith. But I'm going to encourage you in my experience that some faith will be reborn in you, or I should say expanded, enlightened, a higher view of it, a higher understanding of it, a metaphysical understanding of it. It'll come. It'll come. Many of you will be able to pray or worship or sing. I encourage you, if there was something that you used to do in your primitive religion that brought you peace, it's okay to still practice these things that make you feel connected to your higher being. It's not because you're lost or going to hell. If you like praying, pray. If you like doing mantras, do mantras. You know, I have my prayer beads. I do my mantras. You know, Om Namaha Shivaya. I do my mantras, right? Because it brings a peace, a settling of the mind, bringing me into a place where I can quiet the thoughts and calm the heart and allow my spirit to commune to the higher source. You're connected. If you're not connected to the higher power, I believe you're not going to be as happy, as healthy, as wealthy as an experience of life as you can be. So with that being said, even in our gay pride, there's an understanding that spirit is on our side. Spirit's on your side. Spirit loves you. Spirit desires to be in you, work with you, partner with you. It made this wonderful, beautiful variety of a world that we live in. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. There are things that create spirit. Thankfulness, gratitude. Stay in a vibration of love. Say the things that you're thankful for. Point it out. Point out the little things. Don't wait for God to do big things for you to point out the little things. Point out the nice day. Point out when you're feeling good in your body. Point out when you get a good deal on something. Gratitude creates miracles. It's a bingo effect, a domino effect of love and of higher vibration. Passing it on to someone else as it comes back my way. All right, my friend, please share this episode on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all those different social media platforms. Please keep me in your prayers, Jeremy Riden. Please keep raising rainbow in your prayers, in your mantras, in your good thoughts. Remember, you can be someone that encourages someone's spirit. And don't forget to raise the rainbow.